Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Jessie. I'm a psychic medium, a therapist, a fitness instructor, and now apparently a YouTuber. So, welcome. I'm excited for this video today. It's something that I have been chewing on for a while and haven't really felt called to share it until recently because I'm still digesting some of it. So we get to do that together. First and foremost, your intuition on anything that you consume, including my videos, is the most important. So if something is not aligning with your intuition, that's information for you. Now there's a difference between, maybe being triggered or being asked to look at something and do some healing, some leaning in, whatever it is, and something just not resonating for you. And I'll go a little bit deeper into why that's important that I share that as we get into the meat of this video. But there's two main downloads that I received about mid 2022 last year that really started to shift how I wanted to show up on my platforms and how I wanted to share information and just really my readings in general too, on how I was sharing the messages with my clients. So these two downloads that I received last year was one, we are able to co-create our reality based on our belief system. So if enough of us are holding a shared belief system, or just a belief, not necessarily a system, a belief, then that is what is co-created in our reality. 2, we are not here to have the same perspective. We are here to each be a unique expression of source. And with these sort of binary constructs that society has indoctrinated us into for a long time, that feels very counterintuitive. I don't know about you, but I sort of held this underlying belief for the majority of my life that if we could just get everyone to think the same way and have the same set of belief systems, then our world would be a much better place. When it's actually the opposite. We are meant to be unique expressions of source. So there's no one right belief system. There's no, right and left, black and white. It's all a spectrum, right? And I think sort of the illusion of that has really started to fall the past few years. So I like to think of this as we are each wearing a pair of sunglasses or glasses that has been uniquely crafted to each one of us. So our lens is not going to look the same as anyone else's. And we walk through the world with this unique pair of sunglasses. And that's how we view the world from. And we can switch out sunglasses, things can shift with time. But you are never going to have the same set of sunglasses as someone else. And that is how Source intended it. That is how your soul intended it when you came into this lifetime. So holding these two perspectives, as we're going through this massive collective consciousness shift that we are experiencing, we have the ability to create timelines, to co-create timelines. And okay, where do I want to take this? So the information that we consume, if we are constantly being told that something is going to happen, that this is the way that the world is, X, Y, and Z, I think we can all agree that mass media has a huge hand to play in this. If we are constantly being fed something and then we are creating a belief system around it, together we are co-creating that. And so for me personally, I was starting to look at this like, okay, so if we're each intended to have our own lens and we have the ability to co-create together, where does my role fit in that as a psychic, as someone who is channeling and sharing messages, knowing that this world is much more malleable than I think we originally thought it was, especially as we go through these shifts, right? I started to take a step back in the way that I was channeling. And you know what? I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily have a choice. It was also like my guides were like, no, you're going to do this. This is the way that the information is coming through. And so I want to address this comment that I was getting. I don't know. There was a small handful of comments I was getting on my 2023 psychic predictions was that people wanted me to go more specifically. And I completely understand that. As I was channeling, there was this side of me that was like, come on, guys, like, give me something really good. Like, let's really go for it here. But then they just kept gently reminding me that you putting this out, if you are consistently sharing that this is going to happen, you can co-create with the people who are watching your video and you can create a reality from that. And so, yes, there were little tidbits of information and you can watch that video. I will link it in the description or put it in the ending of this video. But I went pretty broad in sort of the things that we are going to be digesting collectively because timelines aren't sealed off. Again, as we make this shift from 3D to 5D, our world is much more malleable, and we, as we go deeper into our consciousness, we'll start to see just how powerful we are in co-creating our reality, and so timelines are not rigid anymore. So for me, I'm only sharing very specific information when that timeline has been confirmed and my guides share that information with me. So again, from me, I might not be the channeler for you. There are so many channelers out there. There are so many mediums, intuitives. So again, if you're hearing my words and it's just not resonating, normally for me, when something's not resonating, it's just like a no. It's kind of like if someone asks you, do you want to eat pizza? You know, like it's a no or it's a yes. It's just like, just not for me. So take all of that into consideration that my channeling style may not be for you. So just for me, it's been this really interesting, like, okay, taking a step back, knowing that I want to be putting stuff out there that feels more empowering, that allows people to understand just how powerful you are and just how powerful we are together. This has also shifted the ways that I've been showing up in readings, which is kind of wild. I haven't been sharing readings publicly for very long. But my experience has shifted very quickly in that sort of in the first year that I was doing it, things were a lot more concrete. It was like, okay, this is the path you're going to take down. This is the person that is meant for you. This is the career that feels good for you. And as our timelines have started to become more malleable, more open, my guides just showed me, in Harry Potter in Hogwarts, like the stairs that are always changing. It's kind of like that. And the stairways are going to change based on your vibration, and your vibration is also directly tied into your belief system. So thank you, guides. We love a Harry Potter metaphor. It's fun and also challenging for me when I'm in a reading and someone is like, is this person my soulmate? And my personal belief that you do not have to take this on. My personal belief is that we have multiple soulmates. And if we're taking that Harry Potter metaphor, the staircases are going to shift again based on your belief systems, based on your vibration. So I do believe that there are certain things that are set in stone in our incarnation. I believe that there are certain people that we're meant to be in relationship with, certain experiences we're meant to have, certain places we're meant to live, that sort of thing. But it's also not all set in stone. So, yes, multiple soulmates. I do believe that we have multiple soulmates, but again, it's like each one of us is meant to have a unique experience, and it all comes down to your intuition. So, when I'm doing a reading with someone, I'm taking in what their intention is, what the highest intention is for them, and where they're wanting to go, and sort of taking all of this information in and saying, okay, this is the most probable timeline. This is the timeline that you're currently on. If you're wanting to shift, then this is what I would recommend. This is what spirit is sharing with you. But the sort of the sense that I got before I started doing readings publicly, or even before I was doing readings in general, that it was much more clear cut as we were still much more integrated into the 3D. It was like, this is the path that you're going to go down. This is the staircase that you are going to take. And now that is shifting, which is really exciting. There was something else that my guides wanted to touch on, and now I am losing that as I'm sort of going on a tangent here. Let me see. Let me check my notes actually. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is the last thing that I wanted to share with you. So, having this knowing of that we are all not meant to fit in the same box, and we all wear different sunglasses as we walk through the world, and knowing that timelines are malleable. So, how do we come together and start to consciously co-create? And I think that's something that we're learning right now. And I don't necessarily think it is going to be easy on a large scale until we have this systemic collapse that we're experiencing, right? A lot of our systems are crumbling, which, yes, it can be scary, but it's also giving us the space to step away from the programming, to step away from the conditioning, and again, tap into this inner knowing that we have, that we are all so powerful. We are all able to consciously create our reality. And so when we become empowered enough individually, and these systems start to remove their hook in us, their hold over us, we will then be able to come together. So I've had this vision for a while now, and I've shared it on a few other videos that I've made, but my guides were showing me that activism in the future is going to look more like meditation, where we come together in large groups and we co-create a reality together through visualization, which I'm getting full body goosebumps as I'm saying this. This is a little bonus thing that I'm going to share. I wasn't planning on sharing this in the video, but how do I want to share this? With the shift from 3D to 5D, we are becoming much less physical. So we will still be in physical body. I know when Ascension and the shift was getting really popular, I guess is how I want to say it, like a lot of people were talking about it and had a lot of questions. There was sort of this fear that we would be leaving our physical bodies. We will not be leaving our physical bodies. Our physical bodies are shifting, but we are going to become much less focused on the physical and tangible and more focused on the energetics and the power of the mind. I think that's why we're seeing this huge shift to understanding our mental health more. Also, there's been a lot of trauma that we've experienced collectively and individually, but this huge clearing out of our mental health, this huge tending to our mental health in the past few years hasn't been by accident. What my guides are showing me right now is this activation of the third eye and crown chakra is super important because it ties into being able to, again, create our reality. How do we create our reality? Through focus. When we are able to focus our mind, that is where the energy goes, and then that's when we experience that physical manifestation. I loved channeling this for you. This was super fun. So again, take what resonates, leave what does not. What you consume can help create a belief system. And I don't say that to put any fear in you, I say that to empower you. You get to choose what you consume. And sometimes we get it wrong, and sometimes we get it right. But at the end of the day, your intuition is what is most important. So go out there, consciously create the timelines, and allow yourself to be unique in how you view the world. I'm sending you love.